Hey guys, it's Coach Yana, and today I'm answering your questions. So we have one. Let's see. How do I know if my child has low confidence? So this can be tricky because it can show up in a multitude of different ways, if I'm being honest. But here are some little ways you can test it out. And remember, every child is different. So just because they don't do X, Y, and Z, or they do X, Y, and Z, it doesn't necessarily mean they're 100% confident or 100% not. Remember, confidence is a spectrum and it is a skill that has to be practiced. So they might be confident in one area and not confident in another. But it doesn't necessarily mean that altogether they're a confident individual and secure in who they are versus not. All right. So let's just keep that in mind. But let's say the easy way to test this out to see how confident they are amongst you and amongst your family and in a safer setting is next time you guys buy a board game, right? Or you play a new game, you let your child read the directions to you and you put that child in charge of the game. So let's say even if you're playing Monopoly, right? That child is going to be the banker. That child is in charge of the game. That child is in charge of the rules. Depending on how easy or challenging it is for them to assert themselves in the game setting, it will let you know, A, how comfortable are they with talking to you and giving you directions and letting you in on alternative sides of them. It'll let you see how they handle pressure because, when you're playing a game with family, sometimes it can get a little bit, like that. Hey, what you trying to take my stuff for? Why are you over here? Such and such just did. Why are you coming at me? So, you know what I'm saying? So you have to, it'll give you a lot of understanding of how does your child respond to that? And because ideally you are creating and have created, ideally you have created a safe space for your child, this child. So you'll see, okay, this is how this child interacts in the safety of us under pressure, under scrutiny, being in charge, being the one who sets the rules, who's in charge of all of this, making sure nobody's cheating. You know what I'm saying? So you'll get to see how they operate in that space. And that's a way that you're helping them learn and you're getting all this information out of watching them, how they play the game. The next thing that I would say, to test, to know how confident your child is just in general, is ask them questions about something that they're interested in. So let's say they come to you. That's why I started the Roblox clubs, because I don't want these children just out here playing Roblox unattended, unmonitored, unsupervised. It's dangerous to do that. But for real, on the other hand, Roblox is a very powerful tool for bonding with people, specifically bonding with children. So that's why I do it. And that's why weirdos do it too. And that's why you need to be mindful of just letting your children play Roblox unattended. If I didn't really mention that, anyway, because I love children. We got to protect their innocence, period, by any means necessary. So, you play with them and then you start asking them questions okay, well, why'd you pick this outfit? And there are some children that you can say, hey, let's say there's a child that puts a polka dots and stripes together. There are some children you'll learn how confident they are if you ask them a direct question, why'd you put polka dots with stripes? There are some children that will say, oh, Coach Yana, I put polka dot with stripes because, I just love that and it's just so fun. And, they do all this stuff. And I'm like, okay, cool. There are other children that I ask that same question and they immediately get defensive. They're like, oh, well, I mean, those are stripes and polka dots are fun. I mean, they're still good. So then I learn, okay, there's probably somebody that's hypercritical around them. And perhaps instead of directing questions directly at them, instead I'll say, oh my gosh, I love how you put the polka dots and stripes. Because now I remember that child is not one that I can go directly at. But people that are not able to articulate themselves when asked direct questions typically are not confident in general. So if your child is unable to answer a direct question about a choice that they made, then that lets you know that they're lacking confidence, especially particularly maybe in that particular situation. Or maybe they're nervous about how you're going to feel it. They hold you to such a high esteem, so they're nervous about what you're going to say. But all that relates back to they're not necessarily confident. So the first way we went over to recap, I'm gonna give you 3. These coming off the top of my head too. I want you to understand that everything I do is organic. Even the series that I have, the children's series, it's totally organic. It's totally off the cuff of my head. Like, stay to the end so you can see a snippet. But I'm just a fluid creature. I'm a creative. It is what it is. It is what it is. Okay, so anyway, the first way is let them lead in a game, because that will let you see how they do under pressure. That will let you see how they do when they're feeling good, and that will let you see how they are like in terms of leading. The second thing we discussed is asking them, playing a game with them first. Get into whatever it is that they're doing so they feel comfortable, right? And then ask them direct questions about their decisions that they made during that game. So even if it's like capture the flag or something, you could say, well, why didn't you go and get the flag? Like, what are you waiting for? Then they might say, oh, well, I'm trying to dodge everybody. Why don't you go get it? Or they could say, well, and then you also get to see where your relationship is with that child. Because it might not necessarily be them. Maybe they just don't feel comfortable around you. So that could be a possibility too. And this will tell you stuff that you need to know so that you, as the adult, can adjust yourself. Okay, so here's the thing I really want to highlight here is you don't want to get mad at your child because they're not adhering to what you believe they should be doing. You, as the adult, need to be figuring out how you can set a better example for your child. So let's just do that there. And then the last way that I can think of, just off the cuff, because that's what I be doing, off the cuff, is really just, what the heck is the question again? Oh yeah. Sometimes I get so excited about these things. I'm so passionate. I bet you can feel it. How do I know if my child has low self-confidence or low confidence, whatever? Is, like I said, watching everything. Like when, not even just in the games, like watch how they walk across the street. Watch how, if you drop them off somewhere, what does their body language look like? Are they getting picked on when they get outside? Because that results in some insecurity as well. How much do they tell you? And before you can work on helping build a child's confidence, you need to have acquired that child's trust. So if you might not even be in the space to even be ready to ask, how can I help my child build confidence? Because to purposely pour confidence into a child has to trust you and believe what you're saying, okay? Like, they have to believe that what you're saying, that you mean it, not that you're just saying it. You're not just saying, oh, you're so smart. You're saying, oh, you're so smart because you said X, Y, and Z. You're so smart because you did X, Y, and Z. And so when you build that trust with them, then when you say stuff, they will receive it and they'll hear it more than if you were just some random person on the side of the street. And then also sometimes, like, as guardians and stuff, you're not cool. They see you as lame. You might be, you know what I'm saying? You might be cool, but for the most part, guardians and parents sometimes be embarrassing. So I come in where, I could be aggressive. I'm not a mom myself or whatever. But they say you got to look at all children as if they were your own. And that's how I feel. Like, I don't need to have a biological child to know what it feels like to love children, because I'm me. I love all children. I love all people, period. Some more than others. It's just real. But anyway, that's why I come in, because I can help bridge that gap. Whereas, like, you don't really know what's up. You don't really know what's on TikTok. Half of y'all didn't even know Roblox wasn't just for children. You know what I'm saying? So some of y'all be clueless because it's such a different world. Sometimes I be clueless too. Like, I'm not even gonna hold you. I don't even know how to work the TV in the basement. That's why I have other devices, because I don't know how to work the TV. I have to ask someone else. Can you help me with this? Like, I have no interest in learning either. But, it's like stuff moves quickly. So you need a guide, especially if you're like Gen X. Like, you probably don't even know what Roblox is. That's just what it is. Let's keep it funky. And even if you know what's up, you really don't know what's up. Because even me, I didn't know that there were weirdos on Roblox. Like, you just kind of don't think people would be such weirdos. But there are weirdos out there. So, we got to keep the children safe, and we're building a virtual village here. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real, for real. This is a full virtual village. So feel free to send me questions. I'm always looking to answer stuff. You can put them in the comments. You can send us an email, whatever.
I started rambling, so let's move on.
Humans are real. Oh my gosh, humans are real.
Water!
Are you listening to me?
Well, it's kind of hard to hear you because you're just yelling.
Well, I'm yelling because this is a serious issue. Humans are real.
Water, he needs you.
Did somebody call for water? Okay. Everyone, let's do some deep breaths because our friend Green Alien Guy is totally tripping. So, all together, breathe in and breathe out. One more time, calm down. Breathe in and out. Do you feel any better, alien dude?